Great. Hello, everybody. Um, I'm just going to take a quick few minutes to talk about effective communication skills. And after that, we will pass it on to each of our members who will be talking or giving speeches today. So some of the things that to keep in mind is in terms of a listener or an audience is showing that you're actively listening. And in case I know this is a virtual setting and all of us are off camera, but if this was played out differently with cameras on, or if it was an in-persons, always showing up a very responsive and connectful body language. And this will allow the presenter to feel that their audience is trying to connect and are not bored of their session. So in terms of, it's always, for example, no looking up into your phone while somebody's presenting, no sitting and turning back or looking at the clock, stuff like that, which will demotivate the presenter. In terms of the presenter, one of the major things, again, is body language. Again, this is a different setting, virtual, but these are little things that actually connect you to your audience. So, for example, keeping your camera on for one thing. And then as you see, yes, I'm sitting down, so you only see top half of my body, but I try to use my hands, a facial tone, facial expression to portray my enthusiasm or my energy level to the audience. Another huge plus when an effective concept or skill would be is the tone of voice. Making sure you do not just speak monotone. I always use this example. So think about any of your favorite songs and imagine of them just saying the words with no high or low variance. It's not going to be that nice. That's not going to be your favorite song anymore, right? You do like it for that rhythm, that tone. So that's how important talking is, and the tone of voice when you are presenting. It allows you to connect with the audience. It allows you to pull the audience in when it's getting a little boring, or it also helps them not to zone off a little bit because you actually go with a little high and low variance, and you actually keep them actively listening as well. Another huge thing for these are basically going to be on terms of your content, right? So when you are trying to present to a group of audience, it is, first of all, very overwhelming. You do tend to feel nervous. You might think, oh no, am I going to forget something? And that's pretty common. And I personally also feel that sometimes as well, especially if I am trying to learn something and present on top of that. So I always try to keep keywords maybe in a little piece of paper, or even when I'm presenting, my slides would have those keywords. So when I look at the slide, it triggers my memory, and I would be able to say. With that said, the reason I say use keywords and not your actual script is because you have to make it seem natural. You shouldn't give the audience the feel that you by hearted this and you're just giving it out at the stage. It's giving it that little personal or individualized twist to it will make it more natural and more nicer to hear in terms of the audience. So it makes it more okay, this person has put in effort. Oh, this person's doing great. I'm able to connect with it, and such more. So always try to keep in mind, if you are scared that you might forget something, always have those little keywords. And another huge trick to actually go along with this is actually have personal stories. That's what I do, because if it's my story, I'm going to remember it, right? So I always use my stories or something that I would personally remember, and keep that in mind so I can actually expand on it furthermore when talking. Last but not least, it's being clear and concise. Yes, sometimes I, especially when I do start talking, I do know I start rambling after a point, and I have to make sure that when I am presenting, I shouldn't go off track. I should keep the audience engaged, and to keep so, I have to get to the point. I have to make sure I only convey and talk about that sector. So one of the basic things for that is because right now social media is a huge distraction field, and even those videos or reels, if you may say, are 7 minutes, sorry, 7 seconds, 30 seconds long. That's how much our attention span is. It's kind of changing over course. So our attention span is much smaller. You wouldn't, it's hard to keep people um, engaged for larger portions of time. So keeping your communicate this your communication or your presenting session to minimal, to don't extend it unnecessarily. Keep it concise, keep it be to the point. If in case you do want to add on a little bit, always have interactive elements. I do love interactive elements personally. It helps you to connect with your audience. It also gives your audience to as an icebreaker. It helps them to connect with you as well. In the end, we're all humans and we all have that urge of not taking the first step and somebody else should. And it's not because they don't want to, they're just scared to. So all I say is just go ahead and take that first step, and you'll be surprised to see how many people are willing to do the same. It's just that first person to take that step. So just always keep in mind, just go forward. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Don't wait for let's see them do it, then I'll do it. Just go ahead and do it. And then you can always improve future on and whatnot. But yeah, and these are very few pointers, but if you actually Google, there are about 7 C's that you make you an effective communicator. So always, if you want, Google it, and you can read through more of it as well. But yeah, that's it. And in case you have any questions, you can always leave in the chat box. And yeah, I'm back to Ashraf.